guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about my first trimester in my first pregnancy. So I'm going to talk about how my morning sickness was, how I got through my first trimester, how telling everybody was, and all of that. So if you're interested in that, then keep watching. I'm gonna let you know, starting off the bat, I haven't filmed a sit-down video in a couple of weeks, and as I get bigger, I can't breathe. So if there's lots of jump cuts or long pauses for me to breathe, I'm sorry. I will try my best to edit all of that out. Also, I used a new curling iron today. I used my like 2-inch barrel and I don't like it. It has like the clip, don't love it. Anyways, let's get settled. The very first thing that I want to talk about is morning sickness. And if you guys watched my other video, I feel really fortunate. I didn't have a ton of morning sickness. I think week 6 to about 7.5, I was nauseous all day, every day. Didn't matter if I ate, didn't matter what I was doing. I was sitting at work 8 hours a day, miserable, so sick, just nothing mattered. I just felt horrible. I didn't throw up any of those times, but I felt horrible. Week 7.5 to about 12, the very beginning of week 12, I just felt yucky most days if I didn't eat, but if I did and if I was staying up on my water and my eating, I was usually okay. Like, I mean, you just feel yucky, you feel different, but I wouldn't say that was morning sickness. Like, I had horrible morning sickness. I feel like, now no one hate me, I feel like I had pretty easy morning sickness. I didn't have it too bad. My first trimester was actually a lot easier than I expected it to be. I hope the next 2 go that way, but we will see how God wants us to go. But I do feel really fortunate. I didn't have a ton of morning sickness, just about a week and a half of feeling really horrible and then just yucky for the rest of the time. I'm now 14 weeks pregnant, so I'm out. I already had a week, so I had 13 and now I just started 14 in my second trimester, and so far it's been okay. I've had the flu though, and I can definitely tell that it's the flu and not pregnancy, like morning sickness, because it's very typical flu. My back is super achy, my knuckles are achy, like it's normal for me. So I've had the flu. I think I've had it actually twice now, very minor cases, but week 12 I had the flu and it made me throw up, and now week 14 I have the flu. This is the end tail of it, so I'm feeling better, but 2 days ago was pretty rough. So that's how my morning sickness went. 6 weeks to 7.5, when I was feeling really sick, if I ate a frozen strawberry, like an organic frozen strawberry just from like the frozen food aisles, if I like sucked on it for a little bit and then like nibbled off a tiny bit, instantly I would feel better, like instantaneously. It was the weirdest thing. I have no idea how I found that. I have no idea why that works. But for those 2 weeks, Riley and I lived on basically frozen strawberries. He would always make sure I had them, and if I started feeling a little sick, he was like, try a frozen strawberry, and I'm like, no, I don't want one, like that doesn't sound good. And he'd get me one, wrap it in a paper towel, and I'd like slowly like eat it. Instantly better. I have no idea why, but if you've tried all the other things and you're still feeling nauseous, maybe just give that a try. It's super random, I know, but maybe it'll work. Do you want to come say hi? No, you just want my attention. Duke's pawing at me, but he won't let me pick him up. Anyways, try that. It might work, it might not, but that was like the only thing that works for me. I did call my doctor about getting Zofran because I work with a couple girls who are pregnant and they're like, I have to have Zofran my whole pregnancy. And it's really hard to gauge when you're talking to somebody how your morning sickness feels versus their morning sickness feels. So she's like, I feel horrible all day, every day. And I'm like, well, like if someone was like, hey, how do you feel? I'd be like, I feel horrible. But to me, like, I'm not throwing up. So is my horrible, like, but she wasn't throwing up at work either. But you know what I mean? So like, I don't know how to really gauge how other people felt, but she told me that I should try and get Zofran if I feel yucky because like it's not worth it. So I called my doctor. We talked about it for a little bit. Well, actually I talked to the nurse about it for a little bit, and she's like, we can totally prescribe it to you. Like, would you want to try like ginger, and I don't like ginger, or like Preggy Pops or something beforehand? And I was like, you know what, yeah, like let me talk to my husband, like we'll make this decision together. And we ended up not getting any Zofran because there's like the very, 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 very small chance that it can cause birth defects. And luckily by the time we had like come to that conclusion, it was subsiding and I didn't really have nausea or morning sickness after that. So I just never took it. But my first trimester, we told people very early on. I told my family and Riley, most of Riley's family and most of my family at like 4 and 5 weeks. And then a couple other people we told at like 7 or 8 weeks, just because that was when we saw them. And then I announced to you guys 9.5 weeks after our ultrasound. And so we announced really early on, I feel like, and I don't regret it. Obviously, had something happen, God forbid, like I would have wanted to share it with you guys anyways, or I definitely would have told my family anyways. So announcing wasn't a big deal. Well, I mean, it was a really big deal, but announcing that early didn't seem like too big of a deal to me. I was really excited to do it, and we just wanted to tell people. I'm really happy that I told everybody when we did, and I am so happy to be out of the first trimester just because of like the scares and everything like that. But can't believe I'm in my second trimester. This little bean is definitely growing. My belly is getting bigger. I had my first encounter with someone touching my belly last week, so at the very end of my first trimester. And it was a little weird, not because it was like a bad weird and I like the person who did it, like it wasn't like a total stranger, but I don't have like a hard, round, like big baby bump, you know, like I still have, like people would call it a bloat. It's definitely different for my body, so I'm calling it a bump. But I mean, some people might just say I look like I'm a little bloated. But I had the first time someone touched my tummy and I'm like, you're just touching my squishy tummy, like you can, like, what are you feeling? It was so funny. Not awkward or anything. I'm sure I'm a touchy person, so I don't feel like I will hate people touching my belly, but that'll come when I have a bigger belly, so I'll update you at the end of my second trimester, I guess. That's kind of how my first trimester was. It was a lot of car drives. We drove a lot of places my first trimester, which I get car sick anyways, so I think that kind of contributed to the feeling yucky a lot, which was kind of our fault. But we had a lot of family members to go visit and to tell, and Christmas and all that stuff. So my tips, if anybody wants them, because I know I haven't had a hard trimester. I know I haven't had a hard first trimester, and so like take my tips or leave them because I don't really have very many tips. But drinking a lot of water, I know it's hard for me. Ice and lemon juice, like squeezing lemon, make it 10 times easier. Walking every single day was really hard at the beginning when I felt sick, but every single day at work I walk 30 minutes on the treadmill, two different times, 15 minutes and 15 minutes on my breaks. So I get 30 minutes on the treadmill, and I love that. It makes me feel so much better. I drink a ton of ice water, and not being afraid of carbs. Like if you're not gluten-free, like if you don't have very many diet restrictions, carbs are my best friend. They're the only things to make me feel better besides like fruit and then cold vegetables. Like cold fruit and cold vegetables sound so good all the time, but carbs normally will make me feel good no matter what. I'm not worried if I have a lot of weight to lose at the end. I will deal with that. But walking and drinking a lot of water has kept me really healthy. I've actually lost 5.5 pounds and I've never thrown up due to pregnancy. So I've lost 5.5 pounds just because walking, eating, and I'm not snacking on like candy and junk as often, because like I said, I really just want carbs and fruits and veggies, and that's a lot healthier than I used to eat. So I've lost 5.5 pounds. It stayed off. I have not gained a single ounce. From about week 7, I feel like, is when I hit 5, or maybe it was week 8 or 9, I hit 5.5 pounds, and it stayed off like to the ounce. Even till today, I weighed myself this morning and it's still the exact same. So not that I'm like, oh, I'm just losing weight, this is wonderful, but I'm really not concerned because I still need to fuel my body. And so like try to be healthy and try to eat healthy foods, and don't just go crazy and can. Don't just go crazy, but if your body is craving something, or if you feel like you're so hungry and you just need to eat, then just eat. My tips, I guess, is do a little bit of cardio every day, whether it's just walking or a little bit of the elliptical or whatever. 15 to 30 minutes has helped me tremendously every single day. Ice water with a little bit of lemon or just super cold water has always been like, sounds so good to me. But if water doesn't sound good or you can't like stomach water, I know at Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, and I'm sure other places, they have like watermelon water or pineapple water and something else where it's just water and then like that pure fruit juice, no concentrate, no nothing. It's just like they juiced a watermelon basically, mixed half of it with water, half of it with watermelon juice, and like it's flavorful. You could also make Kool-Aid. I know that's sugary, but like if you have to do something to get your water in, just get your water in, because water is so important. It really makes you feel better, even though it's so hard to drink sometimes. And finding the right prenatal for you. The prenatal that I'm taking right now is the Women's 1 a Day prenatal. It's a soft gel and it's huge. So if you have a problem with swallowing pills, it's probably not a good one for you. I was taking the gummies before I got pregnant and then up to when I found out, but it is so hard for me to chew those little suckers down, and it's a texture and a flavor thing for me, but I can just plug my nose and pop the pill with a big old gulp of water and it's gone. So that's a lot easier for me, but I know a lot of people take the gummies because they can't swallow a pill, but I can't stand the chewing and the flavor of the gummies, so I have to take the pill. But either way, I really like the Women's 1 a Day. It doesn't smell too bad. It's just like a reddish purplish soft gel, so there's not all of like the yucky like brown green looks on it that some of them have, like Nature Made or Nature Valley or whatever. That one is not good. I took that before. I don't like it. And the 1 a Day has iron in it, and I think DHA too, so gives you everything that you need and a little bit extra, and I really like it. Oh, another thing, this is gross and this is TMI, and I'm sorry if you thought that we were in the clear, because we're obviously not. In the first trimester, I had constipation like a mother. It was bad. Like some days I just wouldn't be able to go to the bathroom, and then other days it would just be so hard and painful, and it was just horrible. Okay, that was the last update that I have. I'm sorry to end on such a wonderful note, but that's kind of all I have for my first trimester. If you guys have any questions or want me to answer anything to you guys, just leave it in the comments. I always answer back. If there's any baby related videos that you guys would like to see, please leave them down below. I want to start doing weekly or bi-weekly pregnancy updates starting like 14 or 15 weeks, so either this week or next week, just depending on how each week goes. Come here, brothers. Oh, Tay. Oh, the last time I held him on camera, he weighed 1 pound, and now he weighs 10. I love you, little boy. Also, a video I really want to do is the wives' tales prediction. Riley and I already did a couple of them, like the ring test, and just based off of like where I'm carrying, my skin and stuff like that. And I also want to do like the cabbage test where you pee on baking soda and then like you also pee on cabbage. We want to do those. So if you guys would like to see a video on that, let me know, because I really want to do one. What? Oh no, he's frustrated. I gotta go. Anyways, if you have any video requests, please leave them down below for me. I love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting me and our little bean in this journey, and always watching my pregnancy videos. I love chatting with you guys in the comments and getting to know you a little bit more personally. A lot of you are actually pregnant or just had a baby, which I didn't know. Thank you again for just watching and supporting me. I love all of you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.